There. But good morning, let me hear you. There we go. Thank you so much for joining us today here at the Discovery Stage. This is my first time at the Hay Festival and I'm so excited to be here in this beautiful, beautiful location. My name is Maddie. I'm a children's television presenter, a fellow puffin author, and sometimes I've had the opportunity to do a little bit of dancing and singing on the stage myself. But today's event isn't about me. This morning we are all going to be listening to the wonderful ballroom dancing superstar Anton Beke as we learn about his first children's book, Code Name Foxtrot. Now, Codename Foxtrot, it is set during World War II, and we meet the twins who are our main characters, and Anton will tell us a little bit about the twins later on. Now, the story is a heartwarming adventure, and the twins find themselves in the middle of a mystery. But of course, the book is so much more than just mystery and code breaking. There is a lot of dance in it as well. Now, without further ado, I think we should introduce our speaker of the day. So if we can all start with a little applause. And can we make that a bit bigger, please? And a bit more. As we welcome to the stage, it's the king of ballroom, Anton Beke!
Marvellous. Marvellous.
Take a seat.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello. Oh, hello, my loves. Hello, my loves. How are you? Nice to see you. See you now.
Hey!
You're a great man.
We're on it. We're on it.
Get in.
Coffee.
Nice. How are we? Are we well? It's bloody cold out here, isn't it? I have to say, it's going to be all warm and balmy and stuff.
I've got a bit chilly in
It's
here.
chilly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chilly. But it's nice to be here, though.
We're here to talk about your first children's book.
Yes.
Code.
And why not?
Yeah. How was it writing,
I
children's
loved
books?
it.
Did you?
I have to tell you, I loved it.
Yeah.
I really, because I like things to crack on. I don't like things to, I like stories to
Yeah.
sort of bound on. I'm not a tome man.
Okay.
I don't like big things that keep
Yeah.
the doors open.
Right.
I like stuff that's not. I think it's because when I was young, if I could read a thin book,
Yeah.
I was more inclined
Okay.
than anything thick.
Right, okay.
I didn't like, because you get overfaced. That's the problem with reading.
Yeah.
If you get overfaced by it, it's,
Yeah.
I don't want books to take 400 years to read.
Well, I have to say, the book, it does move along at a very fast pace.
I'm delighted you think so.
It's a jam-packed adventure. I sort of just described it as a mystery, but I think we should learn a little bit about our main characters. So these are twins, Harry and Rosie. Do you want to tell us a bit about the inspiration for the main characters?
Well, the inspiration for the main characters are my children, of course, my twins, who are here today, Georgie and Rara,
Hi.
and whose actual name is Henrietta, but we call her Rara because when George was little, he couldn't pronounce the word Henrietta, so he called her Rara. And so it's my favourite, and I call him Georgie and Rara.
Yeah.
And it's they're going to be that when they're like 28 years old.
Right.
So Georgie and all his pals are going to go, Daddy. He's probably not going to call me Daddy when he's 28. Anyway, but they were the inspiration, really. Let me tell you this very briefly first. My first sort of step into wanting to be an author it always sounds a bit grand when I say wanting to be an author. That's what you are, I guess.
Yeah.
But my real love is telling stories.
Right.
That's really what I want to do. I want to connect with the audience and I want to tell a story. I love nothing more than stories. When I was young, my children's age, for example, we had this wonderful teacher who I remember now that I'm 35, and I remember distinctly all the young people in the room are going, 35, you're basically 100. And she was this, and I can't remember her name, but she was a wonderful teacher who had the ability to tell a story. So we'd sit, okay, children, right, gather around, we're gonna have a story. And we would go, okay, fine. And we'd sit there, right? And she wouldn't get a book out. She'd tell a story. And this story would go on. And I just remember being transfixed. She was, and the older I get and the more about sort of showbiz I understand, I realise that she was a rare talent in the sort of stratosphere of a Peter Ustinov, one or two of the older people in the room, and a Kenneth Williams, those wonderful raconteurs who just have you, Billy Connolly was great at that, but you just have you hanging off their every word.
Yeah.
Now that's the dream.
Okay.
As a storyteller, as a
So
writer.
she was your inspiration for
She
wanting
was
to write.
remarkable, and every time she'd go, okay everyone, like a week later, she'd say, right, okay, go, I'm going to have a story. And we would go, okay, great. And then she would just carry on with this story as though she had not skipped a beat. And I think back and I thought, what a talent. So my first sort of soiree into wanting to be a writer was a children's book. And the first publisher I went to, I gave them my idea for a story, and they went, no, we don't like the idea, that's not very good. And so I started with the grown-up books, and we started doing the adult books, which sound wrong. Sounds like erotic fiction. It's not. So we started with all that, and then later on, I went. I said to them again, listen, I really would like to do this book because my inspiration was the twins, the twins, and Enid Blyton. Really, I'm going to give a big sort of mention to Enid Blyton.
Famous Five.
The famous five, absolutely.
You can definitely tell the inspiration, I think.
Oh, I'm so glad because. There's so many, I mean, children, I see what my children read all the time and everything. There's lots of stuff, fantasy and I don't have an imagination that could make something up like that. So I think it's really difficult to make everything up about your stories. You make up the world, you make up the what, and then they have the superpowers, and then you live in a pretend thing and you do something else and it's a super. And a dragon and something. And I know it's very fashionable this part of the world, but I mean, and all that.
Yeah.
This is too much for me. So what I want is something that feels like I could have done.
Something that's based in something that's familiar to you.
Familiar.
But you have done that because actually we meet Harry and Rosie in their home in London, where they spend most of their time at the Little Mayfair tea rooms. We've actually got one of the illustrations here.
And let me tell you about this tea room. I'm going to tell you.
I was
My
about
wife's
to ask you
here.
to do that.
My wife's here, and she'll die when this. When we first, so we got together. We first met on the 20th of April in 2012. Right, I remember this distinctly.
Your wife, like, is this
she
okay?
doesn't remember stuff. She doesn't remember details like this. She's just swept up in my aura. And
sure.
imagine being married to me must be exhausting. And so I remember the details. So we met. Anyway, and I said, we live over in sort of west of London, so a place called near Beaconsfield, just north of Windsor. That sort of neck of the woods. Anyway, lovely town called Beaconsfield. We lived just outside there. So go, did you? Yeah. Oh no, that's what I knew I liked it. And I said, well, let's go now, because I was living in London at the time, like central Mayfair, London.
Right.
I was terribly swanky, and she said to me, she goes, I said to her, let's go and have, because I like going out for coffee. I love going out for coffee. Let's have a coffee. Go out for coffee. And she said, and I said, let's go for anybody going for a coffee. Let's go and have coffee.
Yeah.
Right. She said, we can have coffee. I said, I don't want coffee. I said, let's go out for coffee. I don't like being indoors, I like being out. And she went, oh, okay. And I think it sort of made her a bit tense and a bit sort of,
Really?
does that a lot, my wife. Anyway, so she took me to this little tea room in Beaconsfield, High Street, old Beaconsfield. This thing is 4,000 years old, this place, with little china cups. I actually secretly loved it.
Yeah.
Little china cups, and it was there during the Second World War. Now, this little Mayfair, and it makes me laugh every time I think of it, because 5 minutes down the road there's a Starbucks, which you completely forgot about, and over the other end there's a Costa, and there's a something else. There's all these places.
Where's the charm in that?
Normal, and then there's this little tea room, which I thought was the only thing she could think of. I panicked. It's me all. And so that sort of stuck with me. My love of sort of Mayfair and that sort of part of London, old London. Obviously dancing, and and I love the idea of that. So the inspiration for the tea room comes from all. See, my brain is like a melting pot.
Yeah.
I have stuff that I like.
I didn't know that.
I pick up.
I like that it's actually a blend of two memories that you have. One of the
it's
two
more
that
than
you
that.
visit.
It's mainly more than that. Two memories.
But we know that Harry and Rosie, this is where they live with their.
And they're twins. Did you mention that?
Yeah.
Oh, they're twins.
Yeah,
they're twins. My twins. See, you can see how this stuff works.
Yeah, and they have a very happy upbringing here. Harry, the character, the young boy, he's really into his dancing. But sadly, they are evacuees. They have to be evacuated on a train to Lancashire.
Now, this is the part of the story that I thought was really going to be interesting for the youngsters in the room, for example. I think this is about a 7 to 12-year-old book for children of that sort of age. Now, what's also interesting when you're writing like this is that I'm a little bit of an older father. And so I've sort of skipped a generation, really, of children. So I'm sort of one generation past. So my children are sort of really young, and even further away from that era.
Yes.
So I find it really interesting, the psychology of children of this age, to fully understand the concept of being an evacuee.
Yeah.
Even to go and stay at your auntie's for a week down the road, or whatever it is quite a bit of a thing. But to go away and stay with people you're the worst creeper-innerer I've ever met in my life.
Subtle. Really subtle.
Just because you did this didn't make you invisible to anyone. We all saw you. We all thought you had a bad back or something. Your back's gone.
Quick, get a photo of this.
And hang on, you're going to take a picture. Get me natural.
Really laugh, you've got to pretend you're laughing. Stop it, Anton.
So, I thought, on a slightly serious note in that regard, I thought that subject matter was really fascinating. And with my adult books, that period of time I've looked into a lot anyway. I've studied it quite extensively. So I'm very familiar with it anyway. But I just thought that moment, that subject matter there of the children being taken away, even going to, and of course, in the Enid Blyton novels, you have Grumpy Uncle Quinton, and I've got, well, I know it's a little bit of a nick, I've changed the name, well done me, but essentially, but the inspiration remains the same.
Yeah, well, so Harry and Rosie, they actually find themselves in Cotterell Cove, in Lancashire, and they end up living with their grumpy uncle Rupert.
Yeah.
And Rupert is a character they don't know very well. He's quite mysterious. So without giving too much away, how do the twins sort of find their joy in this new place where they live?
Well, it's that wonderful thing of if you take everything away from children, all devices, all that sort of stuff, children going, what? And adults are going, please, can you? And you get rid of all that sort of stuff. Because when I was young, this is the generational thing as well. This is the sort of the interesting part of it for me. I think about when I was young. Now, when I was young, you're too young, you won't appreciate this. But a number of people were in the room. When I was young, there were 3 channels on the television. 3. Right? And when I was young, we only had a black and white TV. And imagine this, children. You had to get out of the chair, go to the television to turn it over. And sometimes you had to alter the coat hanger that was stuck in the top. That was an aerial. They're going, what's an aerial? Now, so there was nothing really on, there was nothing to do. Yeah. We didn't have computers, obviously. We had books. And we had outside.
Yes.
And we had games. And we had bikes. And we had balls. And that's what we did to entertain ourselves. And we had the woods. And we'd go in the woods, we'd climb trees, we'd do all that sort of stuff. So that's what we did growing up when I was young. We used to go out and entertain ourselves and find. So the joy for the twins in this book was is that if you take everything away, this is 1940s. There isn't anything anyway, and now they've been shipped up to Cotterell Cove.
Yes.
to Uncle Rupert. Now, Uncle Rupert's got a backstory. This is the other thing I like to do. I like to give people sort of upstairs and the downstairs, as I call it. And so they've been sent away. There's no Aunt Fanny to look after them.
No.
They are literally there in the house on their own with grumpy Uncle Rupert.
Oh, here he is.
There he is. And Lurch, the dog.
Yeah.
And that's who's looking after him. And he goes, your rooms are up there, the larder's over there, don't eat too much, you haven't got anything.
They know
and
that
then,
he's a suspicious character.
But he's a
they
bit
end
suspicious.
up having to solve this mystery.
Don't say too much away. And no, we'll have to got to buy it. And
Which is available in the bookshop, by the way.
Over there.
So if you do want to meet Anton, get some pictures and get
I'm
the book
fascinated.
signed, please do
Come
go
at
to
me.
the Festival Bookshop after the show. Thank you.
And so what they have to do is go and fend for themselves a little
Yeah.
bit. But also, it's a whole new world, because they come from London,
Yeah.
they're now by the sea.
But
The excitement of that.
yeah, but I think as well what's so lovely is that they are sort of fish out of water. They are out of their depth. These are two children from central London,
Yeah.
but they find themselves new friends at school where they get to enter a dance competition.
Yes.
So that's their familiar, I suppose, is that they get to, they always have dance, despite everything else that might be going on around them. And as part of the dance competition, they get to go somewhere fairly famous. You're quite familiar with it, Blackpool.
Blackpool.
Yeah. So you've got, we have...
Blackpool. This time of year in Blackpool, let me tell you this now. I'll tell you this very quickly. Who's been to Blackpool?
Oh.
Who enjoyed it? Oh, good.
Has anyone been to the Blackpool Winter Gardens, I wonder? Oh, great.
Who's been to Blackpool in 35 years ago? Yeah, ain't the same as it is now. But now, can you imagine this, right? At this time of year in Blackpool, right now, they've got the Open British Championships going on, which is the biggest championship in the world in ballroom dancing at Blackpool. People don't even refer to it as the Open British Championships, they just call it Blackpool. You go to Blackpool, you don't go to Blackpool. And everyone knows what that means.
Yeah.
It's like it's ridiculous, but it is like, it's 99 years old, this competition.
Wow.
This is 99th year, apparently. I was reading today. And when it first began, in something like, what would that be, 1927
A while ago.
or something
Yeah.
like that. It was a exhibition competition, because the big competition at the time was the Star Championship in London, very London-centric ballroom dancing. Because ballroom dancing sort of began in Belgravia, really. It began in London, and it spread. And they had this big, at the turn of the last century. And then this big championship was going on, called the Star Championships, sponsored by the Star newspaper, which wasn't the Star that we know today.
Okay.
It was a broadsheet, the Star. It was a big newspaper, and they used to sponsor this big competition. And if you look back, there's old Pathé newsreels of this competition. It used to go on at the Albert Hall or Olympia or something. Fabulous frocks, give it all that. So, but they wanted something a bit more, so they started this exhibition championship up in Blackpool at the Tower Ballroom. Not the Tower Ballroom, at the Winter Gardens. And then the first ever winner was a chap called Maxwell Stewart.
Right.
And Pat Sykes, I think her name is. And he would be the world champion, but he was sort of aristocracy, had this little moustache and all that sort of like that. And the Queen of Norway, when she came to the UK, she would sort of get the Maxwell Stewart to dance with her as her partner. They'd go to a thing, Maxwell Stewart would turn up, Your Majesty, they'd have a little dance. Invented the double reverse spin. There you are. Oh yeah.
Can you do
And
that?
I can do that. Shall I show it to you?
Yes, please.
Now, let me show you this. I've got rubber soles on.
This
it.
wasn't planned.
Now this is a double reverse spin is a waltz variation as opposed to a foxtrot variation.
I'm going to move this.
So, can you see me from here? Can you see me from here? Yes. Now, okay. Now, it was a variation that was what we call a left turning variation. So for the man, we turn to the left. What we call a reverse turning variation. So natural variations. Come over here. Let me show you. Let me just do this.
I knew it.
I'll just show you positionally. Now, the lady, stand here. Stand. They're like cripple. Now, the lady, that's with the man. Now, historically, the lady always dances on the man's right side. Just put your arms up, don't touch me. Good. The lady always dances towards the man's right side because on the left-hand side, the man had his sword. And that's why you have dogs walk to heel on the right-hand side, because the man's sword is on the left-hand side. Now, the one thing a lady doesn't...
What do you want me to do?
I want you to stand right there.
Okay.
I was going to make a thing about the sword, and,
Yep.
and I'm not going to, the children.
Nope.
No.
Moving on.
So what happens is that, now, I approach the lady, as she stands perfectly still, and we dance right, what we call right front to right front. Now, that means not right side to right side. So it's the front of, she stands in front of me, but we don't look at me like that because it's off-putting. So we don't do that. Now just pick your body up a little bit so you lean back ever so slightly like that. So, feel that?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, excellent. All the children in the room are going, so awkward. And so now, this is the position for the lady. She's on the right side of my body, all right? Thank you, you're making sense.
What about the triple twist?
I'll show you that. Now, I'm explaining the difference between right and left. So, everything that we do that goes this way, towards the lady, is called natural dancing. So, natural turning, I go this way here. Everything goes the other way is reversed, because it's awkward for the lady, because she's on this side. Now, this variation goes like this. It was a mistake. His shoes got stuck together. But for the man, it's a 3-step variation. Normally, I'd go forward, side, together. That would be a reverse turn. Now this is a double reverse turn. So what happens is I step onto my left foot. My right foot joins my left foot. No, it doesn't. I step past it like this here, and then my left foot joins my right foot. And I turn to here.
Ooh.
So I go forward, turn, and down like this. Now it happened because his shoes stuck together apparently. Because the paint like that.
Right.
Now the lady normally would do the natural opposite of what the man is doing. So if I go like this, I go forward, side together, forward for walks. The lady would go back, side together, back, side together. Natural opposite. Now because, I know you want to talk about the book.
I know.
Now, and the time's getting on. But listen, anyway.
We've got to do some code breaking, Anton.
We'll do it in a minute.
Okay.
So, there'll be questions about the Now the lady, on this occasion, doesn't have the same steps as the man, or the natural opposite. She does this. She does this new thing called, excellent reaction. Oh, it's tremendous. She has a new thing called a heel turn. I know, I feel it as well. Now she goes backwards here with her right foot. She immediately joins her heels together, and then she goes step cross. Oof, to get back in front of the man. So the man, and this was what was unique about it at the time, the man does 3 steps, 1, 2, and turns for 3. If I didn't have rubber soles, I could get round in one go. But she's got 4 steps. She goes back, 2, 3, 4 to remain on the correct foot, so she can step back again with her right foot. This was revolutionary at the time. The double reverse spin.
Well. So there you go, a bit of history.
I have no idea why we were talking about that, but I'm glad we did.
So we do end up at Blackpool Winter Gardens in the book. That's not too much of a spoiler. But the book is very much helped along by the beautiful illustrations.
Yes.
Done by Eliza Paganelli.
Oh yes.
Now she can't be here today, but
she's amazing.
So good, in fact, that we wanted to show you her in action. So please do, if you'd all like to just take a moment and watch this little video of some of Eliza's work. Can everyone see? By the way. right. Thank you very much to Eliza for putting that together for us.
She good.
Fascinating to watch that because Eliza's left-handed. I don't know if you noticed.
I did notice.
Oh, wow. Amazing to watch. Okay, so as we've already learned, codename Foxtrot is set against the backdrop of World War II, a time when code breaking was extremely important. I don't know if anyone, especially the younger people here, have heard of Bletchley Park, but this is somewhere where code breaking was taking place, and it's thought that the work of those code breakers at Bletchley Park very likely reduced the time of the war by a number of years. Now, code breaking is something that our main characters find themselves having to do, and we thought it'd be super fun for to play some code breaking and puzzle solving with our audience today. So, here's what we'd like you to do. We are going to give you 3 anagrams. 3 different anagrams. We're not going to put them
Mostly
up
for
quite
the children,
yet.
though, right?
Very much for the children.
Yeah. My wife has a wonderful habit when I say to the children, I've got a question for you, and she just blurts out the answer. Oh, well done, darling. Well
It's a
done.
good thing. It's good.
Excellent. Well
But
done.
we would like to invite the younger members of our audience this morning to do some code breaking. So we're going to show you these 3 anagrams, and we would like you to try and solve them. So put the letters in the right order, and it should reveal 3 words.
Yeah.
Now we also do have a prize
Do we?
for we do, don't worry.
Do it,
For the person who can solve all
When you say we.
3 the fastest. So what we're going to put the words up. When you think you know all 3 words, put your hands up, and then we'll come to you and you can tell everybody here what you think they are. Now I'm going to give you a quick clue before we put the 3 words up.
This is my publicist wanting to get out of the room. What do you want to do? Where are you going? Are you? What's that?
Oh,
Wait.
she's ready. She's ready for the clue.
Oh, you're doing the thing?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, fair enough. I thought you
Your
were
clue
leaving.
is the 3 words are places that we have mentioned in our chat this morning.
Beaconsfield.
Okay? Not Beckham's.
All right.
Okay, are we ready? All right, so, okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, code breaking. Yeah.
Huh. Well done.
All,
Oh.
you need to, do you think you know all 3? Our team at Puffin, have you already, never.
He hasn't done them all, has he?
Surely not. We've got one over here. We've got one over here.
Done them all?
And at the back. Oh no, there's loads of them. Team Puffin, you've got to help me because we can't see with the light. There's one over here, over here. I saw this hand go up. That one over there.
I have no idea.
All right, Tanya, when you had, okay, we've got our team. That's it. We think this was the quickest at the back. Brilliant. Go on, Tanya. Have we got one?
Tanya, by the way,
Yes?
she takes bribes.
Great. All right, stop the clock. Is that something I can say?
She's partial to a bottle of Prosecco, so if you bribe her with that, you'll probably win.
So first of all, well done if you think you've got all 3. But I think that was a very quick hand at the back. Our team at Puffin have selected somebody. Are you ready to tell us what you think all 3 anagrams are? Go on then. What's your name? Eve. Hi Eve, thank you. Go for it.
So the first one's Britain, the second one's Mayfair, and the third one's Blackpool.
Way! Well done! Well done, Eve. Brilliant. Hands up if you also got it right. Yes! Ah, there you go. Loads of us in the room. Well done. Sorry?
I didn't get Britain.
You didn't get Britain?
No.
It was like Clackabo. I was like, where's that?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
The bottom one.
didn't
Thank you for doing a bit of code breaking with us. That was super fun. Now, in just a bit, we are going to go to audience questions. If you do have any questions for Anton, whether that's about his time as an author or as a dancer or any other questions you might have for Anton, then please do start to squirrel away your questions because we'll be coming to you in just a few moments. But I do have another question for you,
Go ahead.
and that's about this wonderful book here, which is your next
Foxtrot.
children's
Oh,
offering,
yes.
Operation Tango. So the next in the series.
Yes, and I want to sort of my ambition really with the book, the children's book, is to get a big series of the twins, and picking up friends along the way and all that sort of stuff. But essentially, that mystery, solving these problems, and a bit of dance in there as well if we can fit it into the stories.
Do you think
and
your
stuff.
twins will ever help you with storylines?
Yeah, I mean they are. I mean, what was lovely was that when we did the first book was a year ago now. We when I got the copy sent to me after it was all done, put together, and they said here it is, which is the lovely moment when the box comes and you open the box and there are your books. There's nothing like it. So I was reading. We did a chapter a night at bedtime, and I didn't force it upon them. I said, I've got a book here. Let's try this. It's Daddy's new book. Have a look. And then we read the first chapter, and then next night we at bedtime, and they wanted to continue with the story, and that was the thing really. Was it like my old teacher? Did I want to listen to her next instalment? And we did, and it was, and they loved. You loved it, didn't you? Didn't? Yes.
They
Good.
are both nodding enthusiastically.
Yeah, just remember there are no buses from
This
it.
isn't forced.
And
It looks genuine.
so it is. That was the biggest sort of
Yeah.
confirmation for me that it was on the right track.
Yeah.
And so I've absolutely loved it. So it's more of the same. And again, the inspiration for this story was just stuff I picked up along the way.
Yeah.
That I remember. I mean, there's a train bit involved. So I don't want to give a spoiler away, but today the trains for all of Michael Portillo's sort of best ambitions are the most. I mean, the principle of trains, great, absolutely brilliant. I think we need trains. They're really good.
In these books, there's sort of like a magical nostalgia to them. Like
They're not
carry
nice
the
to go on. They're pretty unpleasant to go on. So they're functional, and they've taken everybody takes a romance out of everything. It's so upsetting. So I like the fact we have to open the door and pull down the window, and you sit. I like it. It's, thing with it's nice, and the corridor up the side and the carriage. I like that.
I agree.
So all of that is what the stuff that I remember. I remember it more fondly than it actually was at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything was pretty unpleasant when you had to live through it. But it was. It's much more romantic than stuff now, and I like that nostalgia. I like a bit of nostalgia. Do you know, the irony is I'm not one for looking back. I'm always one for looking forward. But I am somehow, in an ironic sort of way, quite nostalgic.
When you're with Operation Tango, it's an opportunity for the twins to learn tango, which they do for a birthday present for their mother. But obviously the first.
Do you want to learn some tango?
I don't. We do have music for foxtrot.
I know, but I want to show you the tango. The tango is a dance of passion.
Yep. We can. We don't have music for it. Do you care?
No.
No.
I don't like the music they've chosen anyway.
Should we do a bit of both?
All right. You're desperate to. Let me show you something.
Okay.
Now.
Are we doing tango? Not that I know. Are we doing tango or foxtrot?
Well, I'll do it and then you decide.
Can this be my audition for Strictly, please?
Okay. Now,
Can you put a word in?
Now, I'm going to show you. Sure. The foxtrot, let me tell you this very briefly, we haven't got long. Not that I ever cared about.
You've got
Now.
ages. You've got 3 minutes.
Now, the foxtrot was people talk about the waltz as the original dance. The waltz is a very difficult dance, very difficult to learn, because you have to close your feet. Now, the foxtrot, you don't close your feet. So during the First World War, certainly, people were learning to do the foxtrot because it's a walking dance. Now, stand in front of me.
That
Good.
sounds easy.
Right, I know. So you're going to go backwards. So we hold our partners like this, right? Now, if you can imagine we're at a do and the servicemen are coming over and there's a band going on and we're having a dance. Dum dum.
Foot, my man.
Diddy dum.
Okay.
Diddy dum. Diddy dum. Diddy dum dum.
Classic.
Da-dee. So now you walk backwards with your left foot,
Wait.
just slowly. So you go step backwards, now step backwards with your right foot, step backwards with your left foot, step backwards with your right foot, and your left foot, and your right foot, and your left foot, and your right foot, and your left foot. Now step forward with your left foot, and then you step forward, and then you step forward, you step forward. Now, this is basically the dance. Now it's what we call a walking dance, that's right, it's still sitting with foot. Now, I'm going to step outside, and in line, what we call outside and in line, you have to take a bigger step than that.
Okay.
So, no, don't stay in line, just keep walking forward. It's only walking. So as I walk like this here, now we go step 3, 4, daddy dum. Diddy-dum, diddy-dum, diddy-dum.
We love your singing, but do you want to put any music on?
No, God, no.
Okay.
And as I go through here like this is the foxtrot, and then we can turn like this. No, stand in front of me. That's it. Don't enjoy yourself. Now, and we do pivoting turns and things like this here. Do you want to put the music on? Are you desperate for the music?
No, not at all. It's more for everyone else's sake.
So, what's wrong with my singing?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
So this is the foxtrot. I do a feather step, what we call a feather step, where I go forwards and she goes backwards, and I do a three step, which I go in line and she keeps going backwards here. Then we do a reverse wave, where she goes forward with this foot here. That's it, straight there, straight towards me. And that's it, good. Step forward and keep going outside. And now you go forwards in line. Good, all right, outside as well. Okay. Good, all right?
Yes.
Good. Now that's, there, well done. Oh. Now the tango is different.
Great.
So, now, the tango comes from South America. It's a much more passionate dance. So the whole thing is this sort of frisson. Now, we don't look at each other.
No.
Mustn't look. And what happens is that, don't look at me. We start together like this, and the hold is much more compact. So I come in here and I'm much more like this. Don't look at me now. Now, as I walk, she walks backwards with this foot. So I walk, no, you've got to take a step with this foot here, bigger step. That's it. And then I walk as well, here like this. And we'll do something like, for example, put your foot back. That's it. And now we'll do a rock. Rock, rock, rock.
Where am I going?
There you
Where am I going?
You go forward with your left foot, that's it, towards me. Step to the side, close your feet. There. Oh,
Hey.
nice.
Does that look like a kind of thing?
Now, there's a variation called the Spanish drag. Now, what I do is I throw her to the floor, grab her hair and put her across the stage. Now, what we do is the Spanish drag.
A minute and a half.
I know.
Yeah, we're going to
Oh, okay, fair enough. And now, it goes like this. This is the sort of essence of the tango, which is very passionate. So what happens is this. This is a sort of, this is a thing, a fight between us of desire and resistance and eventually giving in. Of course, look at me. And now, so I do this. So she steps to the side, so I step to the side with this foot, we step to the side together, but we lunge. So big step. So big step. That's it. And that's it, that's a fella. Now that's it, lunge. Now, what you do is you turn your body towards me very slightly. That's it, there, that's it. No, that's it, good. Now, remember the passion. Now look away.
Which way?
Now, as we draw our feet together, wait for it. I rock you like this, here like this, and I make you look at me, but you look away as I draw up, and I draw you up, and you look towards me, and then we look away. Marvellous.
That was fun.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Good, isn't it?
I like that.
I like it.
Oh.
Thanks.
Right, okay, it's over to you. We have a couple of sort of microphones roaming.
I think you should do Strictly.
Well, wouldn't that be nice?
I think it would be tremendous. Yeah, I think you do.
You wanna-
Who would you dance with, given the choice?
Oh, I can't, not you, sadly.
You do very well in the judging, I can tell
Would
you
you come
that.
back? Would you come back, maybe?
I mean, for you, I would.
Oh, let's make it happen.
You'd be much younger than I'd be used to. Now, you can imagine.
Put it here at Hay, there you go.
We could dance like this, finish, take a bow. I could run back to the desk and go, "What do you think?" I thought she was marvellous. 12.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Okay, anyway, we have questions for you.
From you.
From you, thank
Excellent.
you. Great. Do you have a question? Brilliant, yes. Give us your name, hello.
My name's Anton.
Hiya.
Hey!
Hello,
Anton.
and I just wanted to know what inspired you to set code name Foxtrot in World War II. Like, why did you want to write about World War II?
Well, it was, do you know, everything we've spoken about before, really. I wanted to bring you guys into a world that you'd know nothing about. Obviously, Second World War, of course. But the concept of being evacuated was the thing for me. I just thought that was such an alien concept for young people these days that it lends itself to a wonderful story and a real interesting story for you as well, to really sort of grasp what that must have been like And of course, my sort of big inspiration was always Enid Blyton, her Tales of Adventure and Thought, because also at that period of time, as we said before, there are no tablets, there are no mobile, there are no, luxury of having a bicycle, unbelievable. Going away, fending for yourself, finding excitement, finding adventure.
Yeah.
Children were, people would leave their doors open and latchkey kids and all these expressions that you will be so fascinating. As you get a bit older, you'll think about your childhood, you'll think about childhoods from generations before and the language and the things that you used to get up to, and you will not be able to believe it, that people just leave their doors open, and it's fascinating, I would say.
There you go. So I guess the World War II backdrop as well, it almost creates instant drama for you.
Yeah.
The family, they're ripped apart, you have the evacuation, they have to move homes. So the story is there from the very beginning, which is brilliant. Yes. Hello. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Seth.
Hi, Seth.
Hello, Seth.
How much education does it take to become a Strictly judge?
How much education does it
Like
take?
dance education.
Absolutely.
Or just education.
If you're talking about Craig Revel Horwood, none. The key really is experience. I mean, there's nobody on the judging panel who's 20. And I think that's important really, because you need an experience. Somebody once said to me, you can't do you can't really do the foxtrot until you're 40. And when I get to 40, I'll tell him if he was right. But you need experience really in that, whether you're a Strictly judge or whether you're in a sort of a creative in that way, you're putting together things and shows and stuff. A bit of experience, having done it yourself. I have the advantage of having done it. Which is the advantage I've had with the other judges, is that I've been there, I've done it, I know what it's like to walk down the stairs with somebody who's never danced before, and on Thursday I know that on the studio we were rehearsing, the dance was going great on Thursday, absolutely marvellous, and then Saturday came, it was like we'd never met, because of the nerves and everything. I know what that's like, so experience is the key really.
Experience and being over 40.
And apparently being over 40.
Those are the two criteria you've been given.
Yeah.
Yes, at the back. Hello, what's your name?
My name is Esme.
Hi,
Hello, Esme.
My question is, Anton, if there was anything that you could improve on in
Her
your
tango.
book, what would it be?
In life, or in me, or in love?
Your book.
In my book, if I could improve on anything in my book.
I love that question. That is.
Have you been talking to my editor? I'll say this to you in all seriousness, Esme. I don't think I'd want to improve or change anything, really.
Yeah.
Because
Publishers look pleased with that.
yeah, I love it. I'm so delighted with the way it's come out. I think that's a great question, actually.
It is.
Do you know? I do feel the same way about my adult books. But there are one or two things I might have done differently in that with the story. But then, of course, you change a little bit here, and then it has a knock-on effect to that, and then you have a knock-on effect to that, and then you have a knock-on effect to that, and suddenly you've got a different thing. It's like choreography. I've got a routine. I'm teaching you the routine, and then you can't do one particular step. So I change that little step, and it's only a little change, but it then becomes a big change because the thing following it needs to change slightly, and then the thing following that needs to change slightly because now all the timing's a bit off here, so I need to change. So everything has a knock-on effect. So I wouldn't have changed anything on these books because
You
I
do
think
learn
they're
something
perfect.
every time you write another book, though.
Yes.
I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
Yes.
That there's always something new to learn that you can take with you onto the next.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yes. In the middle. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Pippa.
Hi, Pips.
What's your favourite book that isn't one of your own?
No, I don't read really else's books. What's my favourite book?
You've said Famous Five.
Yeah, Famous Five. I tell you, for picture books, Julia Donaldson's stuff.
No.
I used to love Julia de Gruffalo. We used to have in all those books. I used to enjoy reading those with the children. I love that. The Famous Five stuff. There's so much, really, in that. I mean, those wonderful books. What's that fabulous book we used to read? You can't go over it, you can't go under.
We're going on a
Bear Hunt.
There you go.
Oh, I love those books. I mean, yeah.
It's like choreography.
Yeah.
Can't
Go.
over.
Rick, can't go over.
Got to go. We dance to that.
That
That can be our first week on the dance floor.
Yeah. The Bear Hunt.
Great question. Yes. Yeah. Hiya.
I'm Lucy.
Hello, Lucy.
What's your favourite book that you wrote?
Operation Tango. Because it's my latest one.
Yeah.
I have to say, genuinely, actually, I think Codename Foxtrot is probably my most favourite book of all the books that I've written. The first ever book, I suppose, One Enchanted Evening is the first. So
First book, baby.
but I love Codename Foxtrot so much. I think it's because it's so personal, because it's with the children in mind and everything, I suppose.
Yeah. And you could read it together as a family.
Yeah, that is hugely important. But it's very difficult, really. They ask me which is my favourite child, and that changes on a daily basis.
Okay, I think we've got time for maybe 2 more questions. Where are my roaming microphones? Here we go. Hiya.
My name is Caleb.
Hey,
Hello, Caleb.
If there's something, who's been your favourite person or celebrity or professional dancer that's been on Strictly throughout when you've been on Strictly?
That I've danced with, or just that I've seen, of all people, of all of them. That I've danced with.
Yeah.
Well, do you know, I've loved them all equally. Actually, I think they've all been incredible. I've been very fortunate. I've met some wonderful women in my time, ladies in my time, and we've had a wonderful time and lovely relationships. I mean, just great friendships. I mean, they're all pretty terrible, but they've been lovely to be with, which is the most important thing. I mean, Anne Widdicombe is probably the most famous. Really. So sort of, what would you call it? Sort of enduring. I mean, remarkable. I mean,
unforgettable.
Unforgettable. That's what you were.
You can tell Anton's just come off his musicals tour.
Yeah. Unforgettable. Number 2.
Yes.
Hello, my name's Charlotte.
Hello, Charlotte.
How old were you when you started dancing?
How old are you?
8.
Oh, you're same as my children. I was about 13, 14, so I started quite late. So if you started now, you'd already be better than me.
Do you dance, Charlotte?
No.
No.
Not much.
Not much. So it's still time. I started when I was about 13 or 14, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just sort of summer holidays, school
When did you
holidays.
start competing?
We started off doing medal tests first. I mean, I started to dance, and we did some medals, and then we started doing sort of competitions, sort of what we call inter-school dance school. I went to a dance school, dance schools against other dance schools, and then you sort of, and after 3 or 4 years, we evolved into the big competitions, with the tail suits and the part. And then I got in, at 16 you turn into an adult, apparently. And so I'm now competing against adults at 16. I'm sort of doing the grown-up stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Had you always wanted to be a dancer?
As soon as I started, I realised this is what I wanted to do.
Amazing.
So, and then from there on, that was it. That was based, literally, that's it. I know it sounds sort of flippant and throwaway, but it is. From that moment on, as soon as I realised this is what I wanted to do, that was the rest of my life dealt with. That was it. That was it. Thank you very much. That's what I'm going to do.
Well, there you go. On that note,
On that bombshell.
here's to a lifetime of dancing and now writing books as well. It's time for us to give a massive round of applause to our speaker today, Anton. And we have a little song for you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Let's see if I do that. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. And if you would like to meet Anton, he's going to be doing a signing at the Festival Bookshop.
Am I?
You are, yes.
Excellent.
Bye-bye.
See you there.